This is Jets Class. Thank you so much for joining. There is a ton that we have to get to as this season for the Jets begins to wind down. Just a couple games left. 4 downs, why 2024 will be better than 2023, but it starts all right here, right now with the takeoff. Well, there will be no major changes to the New York Jets. Woody Johnson made that official when he told the New York Post that everybody is coming back. That means Joe Douglas and his staff, Robert Saleh and his staff, and that includes Nathaniel Hackett. There might be a couple little minor change-up with positional coaches, but the core group of this brain trust, they will all be back in 2024. And I know this is not necessarily what Jet fans want to hear. They wanted changes. They want someone to pay for a 13th straight year absent of the playoffs. But I do believe that this is the right call for right now. Is Robert Saleh going to be one of the best coaches in the NFL? I don't necessarily know. Is Joe Douglas the right guy to build a roster that can win a Super Bowl? I don't know. But they did construct a team that was one of the 5 or 6 capable of making a legitimate run. They fell short. Why? Yeah, there were flaws on this team, but largely because Aaron Rodgers went down 4 plays into the season. Woody Johnson has basically said, these guys can see this through. You're going to get one more shot with Rodgers to win a Super Bowl, and if the Jets don't, your changes, they'll be coming after next year. It is time now for one of my favorite segments on this show. It is 4 Downs, and it is presented by Monmouth University. Explore further at monmouth.edu/amplified. You guys know how this works, but if you need a refresher, it is 4 topics on the Jets, my thoughts on those topics, and it starts right now with First Down. When the Jets were eliminated from the playoffs for a 13th straight year, attention shifted from let's make a run to let's lose as many games as possible to get the highest draft selection possible. And for a while, it looked like that was exactly what was going to happen. The Jets were going to be picking top 5. They'd be in the perfect position to select Notre Dame stud left tackle Joe Alt or Ohio State stud receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Unfortunately, things have changed for New York. After this victory over the Commanders, if the NFL draft were held today per Tankathon, the Jets would be selecting 9th overall, but here's the thing. They have one very, very, very winnable game remaining on their schedule. It is Week 18 against the Patriots. Win that game, get your 7th win of the season, and suddenly the Jets are going to be thrown into a mix of 6 other teams that also have 7 victories. Basically, depending on what those teams do, the Jets could go from picking 9th to all the way down to 15 or 16 because the Jets' strength of schedule is so high, and the number 1 tiebreaker for the NFL draft is strength of schedule. Basically, the league wants to give the worst draft pick to the team that has the worst record against worst competition. That doesn't mean the Jets are screwed by any stretch of the imagination. You can still find very, very good players there in the middle of the first round. It's just unfortunate that they're probably now out of the running for those top tier guys that you're thinking are going to go with the first 5 or 6 picks. I don't necessarily know if fixing this Jets offense is as easy as some people are making it out to be. In theory, yeah, there's really only 3 main issues with this group right now. One of them is immediately rectified when Aaron Rodgers comes back healthy. The second is finding a running mate for Garrett Wilson. But it's that final one that to me is alarming, and it's rebuilding this offensive line. That is a massive undertaking. Essentially, you're asking Joe Douglas to do in just a couple of months what he has not been able to do in 5 years. Think back to his press conference in 2019. What did he stress? It was rebuilding the trenches and creating a wall in front of then quarterback Sam Darnold. Well, we're all these years later, and the group in 2023 is really not any better than the one that he inherited from Mike McCagnon and Adam Gase. Now, this isn't for lack of trying. Joe Douglas has invested draft picks in rebuilding the group. He's invested major free agent dollars, but that doesn't mean that those were the right players drafted or right players signed, which is why the Jets are in this current situation. And now he needs to fix this group because he has a win now mandate. He doesn't have that many years left, and he needs to somehow find in free agency and the draft a new left tackle, a new right tackle, potentially a new left guard if Blake and Tomlinson is cut, and also a right guard insurance policy because we don't know what Elijah Vera Tucker is going to look like coming back from that Achilles injury. That is a major, major undertaking, and I don't necessarily know if it's possible to do all of that in just 1 year. I know what I just said, and in all likelihood, the Jets are going to select an offensive lineman with their first round pick in this year's draft, but what if they don't? And no, before everyone starts freaking out, I do not think they're going to take another defensive end. I don't think anyone that's a receiver is going to fall there. But what if there is a quarterback that the Jets absolutely love? Maybe it is Michael Penix. Maybe it is Jaden Daniels. I don't know. But what if there's someone after that Caleb Williams, Drake May tier that gets down there where the Jets are picking? Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh look at him and say, that guy can be a starting quarterback, franchise quarterback for us for 15 years. And they pick him because they can allow this quarterback to do what they didn't do with Zach Wilson. What did Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas say in recent months and years about why things have failed with Zach? It's because they didn't give him an opportunity to sit and learn behind a veteran. Well, they know they have Aaron Rodgers in 2024. They know they have Aaron Rodgers in 2025. So theoretically, if they drafted a quarterback in the first year, they could sit him behind one of the best to ever do it and have him watch and learn and then take over when Rodgers retires. Again, I think the Jets still draft an offensive lineman in the first round. That is probably what's going to happen, unless it doesn't. There's a coach on the Jets staff who I don't think is getting enough love, and if Jeff Ulbrich ends up getting a head coaching opportunity this cycle or next, he should be first in line to replace him as defensive coordinator, and that is Mike Ruttenberg. Ruttenberg right now, he's the Jets linebackers coach, and he deserves an awful lot of credit for turning a player in Quinnen Williams, a roster cast off from the Jacksonville Jaguars, into someone who should be a Pro Bowler this year and potentially All-Pro. Also, don't discredit the job that he's done with Jamie Sherwood, a college safety who is now an every down player at linebacker in the NFL. Even C.J. Mosley playing some of the best football of his career, late in his career, underneath Rudy, who the Jets' other assistant coaches like to call him. He's somebody, again, we've talked a lot about what's gone wrong with the Jets and people, oh, should this guy get fired? Should that guy get fired? Stuff. No. This guy is somebody who's doing his job, doing a job very, very well, and deserves a little bit of credit for it. So this year was not the one that most Jets fans expected. There were dreams of a Super Bowl run, expectations of at least reaching the playoffs, and instead, 13 years now, the Jets have been out of the playoffs. There was no Super Bowl run. There was no playoff push. Basically, this team's season ended 4 plays into the season when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. But we're looking positive here. In the spirit of New Year's Eve, in the spirit of 2024 coming in, we are going to focus on some reasons why 2024 will be better for the Jets than 2023 was. And we'll give the defense a little love for 2024 as well. The core players that have made this unit so special the last 2 years, they are going to be back this coming season, which should help the Jets eclipse or at least reach the same successes they had these last 2 years in 2024. Yeah, they're going to lose some players. Carl Lawson, he's going to be gone. John Franklin Myers, I could see him being a cap casualty as well. But the core players, your DJ Reeves, your Sauce Gardners, your Quinnen Williams, those guys will be back, along with some players you're expecting jumps from, like Will McDonald, who the Jets are very, very high on and believe could have a Jermaine Johnson-like jump in 2024. Jet fans, you're going to have another playmaker to cheer for. I think that is obvious. I don't know if it's going to be Marvin Harrison in the draft, Mike Evans in free agency, Devontae Adams via trade, but the Jets do realize that they need someone outside Garrett Wilson. They know they can't unlock Garrett Wilson's true potential until they add someone who can take some attention away from him. So you are going to have someone else you want to buy a jersey of. You're going to have someone else to cheer for on Sundays. You're going to have someone else to hopefully ignite an offense that has been so stagnant throughout this year. And that player is going to come in free agency, the draft, or via a trade. So yeah, more playmakers. Who doesn't want to look forward to that? It starts in the trenches. That is what Joe Douglas said when he took over as this team's general manager in 2019. He hasn't rebuilt the offensive line in the 5 years since. That would lead you to question on why it should change this coming year, but I genuinely do believe that this will be the year that the Jets get it right with their offensive line, because they have to get it right with their offensive line. They cannot go into next year with the same group. They can't go into next year with a group that struggled or is as bad as this group is. Otherwise, they're going to lead Aaron Rodgers back to the injured reserve. So I think you're going to see a new left tackle. You're going to see a new right tackle. You're probably going to see a new guard as well. And that collective group will lead to a better overall offensive unit. Well, maybe this is truly just an overall optimistic outlook by me, but can it actually get any worse for the Jets fan next year? No, it can't. I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers this past year. The expectations were so high. Super Bowl, really, that was a legitimate goal for this team.
and to have those goals and dreams essentially dashed just 4 plays into the season, that is the gut punch of all gut punches. But seriously, I do believe next year will be better, and maybe that's just because it can't get any worse.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Jets Class. If you want to catch all previous episodes of Jets Class, you can just check them out across SNY's digital platforms. That is Facebook, that is X, that is YouTube. If you were going to watch on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to SNY's channel. And across all of those Jets Class videos, give us a like, give us a comment, just so we can spread to other Jet fans out there. If you want to catch more specific Jets coverage from SNY, Jets pregame live is coming your way at 7 p.m. on SNY before the Jets take on the Browns. We will see you there.